and welcome to This Board Game Life. My name is Mark, and today I'm doing a review of Grand Central Skyport, the Deluxe Edition from 25th Century Games. So this game was published in 2025 by, 25th Century Games. And this is designed by Dan Germain with artwork by Andrew Bosley. This plays 2 to 4 players. Playtime is 30 to 60 minutes, and it's for ages 14 and up. Now, before I dive into the review, I do ask that you would please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for us, and to hit that bell icon so you don't miss any new content. All right, so I'm kind of trying to streamline my reviews. I did one the other day on Last Command, and I just kind of felt that maybe I was kind of all over the place. I'm trying to streamline, make it a little bit more simpler, so hopefully this one will come out a little bit more just kind of straightforward without a lot of extra fluff, right? So, the overview of this game. So this is direct from the publisher. When I do unboxings, I give the kind of same spiel. This is directly from the publisher, but I like doing the overviews because it lets you know, in case you're not familiar with what the game is, it lets you know. And then I'm going to go into kind of like a quick rundown of how you play, size of the box, what comes in the box, kind of, talk a little bit about whether it's colorblind friendly, which is probably something I might get rid of, as it seems like most games these days are. Talk about the art, and then just kind of get into the gameplay. Couple things. Talk about pros and cons, and then my final thoughts. So we'll see if this is a little bit more streamlined. All right. So in Grand Central Skyport, you want to efficiently operate your airship station and attract the most prestigious tycoons to your city. During the game, you attract new airships to your skyport, and each airship has a color and an initial slotting movement. Try to maneuver your airships to group them by color so that they stack to score increasingly more points. Unfortunately, with each new ship entering your station, its movement will trigger the rearranging of previously placed airships. So ideally, you can race other skyport owners around a central rondel to choose the incoming airships that are best for you. Drafting tycoons to your skyport will bring unique advantages in manipulating your docked airships, as well as additional scoring opportunities at the end of the game. Do you have the operational skills to handle the airships arriving at your station as efficiently as possible? If so, you may very well crown yours the Grand Central Skyport. So kind of a quick rundown on this game. You are going to take a turn. Uh-oh, did I freeze up? Looks like I may have frozen up here. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just my window. All right, looks like we're still going. All right, sorry about that. A little technical issues here. Okay, let's keep trying. All right, so during your turn, you're going to play a card from your hand to your skyport in front of you, and then you will then move that card based on the actions listed at the bottom of the card. And you will then have the ability to use your tycoon ability if you have one in your station, and then you can move your airship, your player piece, if you will, around the rondel. Now this will continue until the station closing card comes up in the center of the rondel in the deck there, and then you will continue. Everyone will continue to turn back to the first player, and then everyone will get one final turn, and that will end the game. So this is a normal size. I say large. It's normal size calyx sized box. So what comes in this game? You get 60 airship cards, 12 station boards, 15 tycoon boards. I think I'm going to take this to the table. I want to kind of show you. Whoa, zoom out. Whoa, that camera is way in, because I was showing some miniatures before. So I kind of want to show you kind of some of the things. But so this is the main board, if you will. I'm going to move out back further. Oh, that's as far out as I can go. Let's see if I can get her to fit in this way. It's a pretty good sized board. I mean, it's not ridiculously huge. It's really not that bad, but I'll talk about later on in the game or in this review about table space. But this is the board. You were going to put some tokens on these spots. You're going to have some cards along the bottom, and then the rest of the cards sit here in the middle. But I will show you. So your airship cards. Let me kind of show you just an example of what some of this stuff looks like. So, like, here's a airship card. So you might play this from your hand, and when you play it, you're going to play it out to one side of the left, either left or right of your skyport that you're going to have laid out. Does this have a? Let me go here so I can kind of show you what you're. See if they've got a picture of. They may not have one in here. Oh, here's a picture. So this is kind of like at the end of the game. This is kind of what you're going to have played out in front of you. It's going to look something similar to this. You're going to have stations. You're going to have airships, right? At these different various places. So you're going to. It starts out with like 2 stations and 2 airships, and then it's going to expand, and ships are going to come in, and so this will grow out. And what's kind of nice, I mean, the cards, the airship cards, these are just normal playing cards, like, you know, they're nice. But the stations and all the tycoons, these are like boards. They're kind of see if you can get a they're actually like a thick cardboard board. And then the tycoons are as well. And I'll give you a picture of a tycoon here just so you can kind of get an example. But these are this is the Explorer Tycoon. It's also like a thick cardboard card, but there's kind of a look at one, so you can kind of see it's going to give you additional bonus points to the station that you have above it. So when you set these out, you're going to attach them. You're going to basically put them underneath the station, and now you're getting twice as many stars that you can use to multiply by the cards. Here you would need red cards or orange cards stacked up, so you want to get as many as you can on each side and this will multiply, add to your multiplier for your points at the end. But then you're also, there's some abilities like after you play a box or a red airship, if your skyport has at least 2 compass or at least a compass, you may move any other lane by 1 to 2 spaces. If you have 2 compasses, you can swap any 2 other lanes. And at the end of the game, as long as you have 3 compasses, you're going to score 2 points for every compass, as long as you have 3 or more. So you can kind of help. And all the cards are, most of them have different like actions, but they all pretty much they'll have the same. There's some variety in them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, for example, there's 3 Explorer cards, right? So they all look different. But then this is red airships. That's orange. That's yellow. But then they have the same abilities and the same points at the end. Okay, but then they have different characters. And again, Andrew Bosley did a great job of the artwork. And then like there's 3 merchants. Now the merchants are similar, but these are going to have like the boxes will do different things, and they're going to have different colored airship abilities. Then the diplomat lets you move if additional moves on the rondel, and then there's points at the end of the game for tickets. And there's a lot of different abilities with the tycoons that you can add into the game. And the quality of this is really nice. So it's like these are really heavy duty cards that they did not cheap out. And of course it's a deluxe edition, so you wouldn't expect it to be a cheaped out edition, would you? Of course not. So, all right. Then you also get a nice acrylic first player token. There are acrylic standees for your for each player. And you can take a look at this. This is 2 of them. I'll talk more about these 2 particular ones later. There's also a blue and a green. but they also came with, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe there's a maybe because like the deluxe edition also gives you these plastic molded ones, which I actually like a lot better. You get these all like these different shaped balloons. These are a lot. This is what we played with tonight. These are a lot nicer to put out on the rondelle, and these things are going to sit out here, and then you're going to move around when you're doing your movement. You're going to go around like that. So those are actually really nice as well. And then I'll talk about this later, but you get a pencil, full size pencil. There is a score pad in the game. So this was from our game tonight. So I scored 47 points. Our winner had 55 points. So, but we had, I mean, take a look at this. We had 45, 46, 47, and then our winner had 55. But the game was really close, with the exception of the one guy who kind of, did pretty darn good. But I was impressed that it was like such a close game. So I really like that. And then there's these really nice acrylic, thick poker chip acrylic like bonus tokens. So these are going to sit out, and it's kind of a race to get these. So I think this one goes like a 9, a 7, 5, and a 3-pointer. And then the others are, I think, a 7, 5, 3, and 1. But there's the highest point one goes on top, and whoever gets there first and completes that collection, because there's 2 different types. There's having all 6 colored airships in your skyport, and this one is having a set of compass, box, and tickets in your skyport. So there's some additional bonuses that once you have those, you can move on the rondelle and take the highest chip that is on top. So, all right. So I'm going to keep kind of pack this back up. I'm going to keep talking about what's in here. So let's see. We do have a station closing card. That's how it signifies the coming of the end of the game. You've got, let's see, the board, the rule book, and a score pad and a pencil. So that kind of covers everything that comes in the game. All right. So let me take this down. As for colorblind, I did not see any issues. One of the guys in our group is colorblind, but they did a nice job on the cards with colors having different shaped banners, also different shaped airships. And let's see, I think I'm going to just switch cameras again. So there really wasn't an issue with color blindness, so that's good. Again, and you saw some of the artwork there. It's done by Andrew Bosley, and it's beautiful. Now, the goal of this game, kind of like, most, is have the most points at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points wins. Now, this was advertised as a 30 to 60-minute gameplay. We did a first run. In fact, I'll pull up my time. We played this. Our time for the very first play for all of us was, we had an hour and 20 minutes. Okay, that was the very first time, and there was a lot of questions the first time. So, absolutely, without a doubt, we would be under 60 minutes, no doubt, with this group playing this another time after the initial question. So, yes, I think the advertised playtime is very accurate. So, some interesting information about this game. It's actually really easy to learn, and it will play in less than an hour after your first. But this game has what I found to be a surprising amount of strategy that I did not expect in this game. I really thought it might be a little more simpler. I do like games that I do play some hard games, but my game group kind of teases that I like the easy games. And it's not that I like easy and simple games. I do enjoy a lot of different games. But I think my sweet spot is a game that is about an hour long. 30 minutes to an hour is to me, it's really good because you get in, you get out. I don't like games that can take hours and hours and hours. Now, where some of that is I can enjoy is like Battlestar Galactica, right? The board game, like that can take several hours, but it's very, it's one of those. It's like it's very fun. It's very interesting. Um, but other games that go too long, that just I kind of can tend to lose interest sometimes. This doesn't allow that. You are engaged in it by it like when it ended, I was like, man, I kind of wish I had some more turns, it, and that's what I like. I like a game that like it ends before you really want it to, and that's this game. um so I really enjoyed it, and everyone who played in my group, they also enjoyed it a lot and expressed that they want to play it again soon. So this will probably make an appearance at game night here real soon. So let's jump into some of the pros, and then the cons, and then I'll give you kind of my final thoughts. This is a beautiful game, and it plays quickly. The game allows for quick turns, little downtime, and bigger strategic play than it looks like. The puzzle of trying to move your colored airships next to the correct stations and then having to deploy more airships, it's this great dance of like not only your hand management, but you're trying to manage the cards in your play area. And so it's really a fantastic. Um, it is. It's like a dance. It's a dance of how you manage these things and how you're moving things around. Sometimes you might be forced to move cards you don't want to move, but you have to. And then it's like, okay, how do I get them back? That's really a really exciting part of the game. Movement on the rondel. I love rondel games, and this one's really neat because you can take up, depending on the card you play, tells you how many spaces you can move on the rondel, and you can move up to that many. You don't have to move that many. You can move one. If you have a 4 or 5 space, you can move up to 5, or you can just move one. It doesn't matter. So it allows you to kind of plan out as best that you can, because the game's always changing, but maybe not have to jump around so quick. Maybe you want to try to go a little slower and hit things, and this game allows you to do that. And it also allows for you to try to better manage what you're strategically trying to do. Do you want to go for bonus items with your tycoon? Do you want to race for the set collection bonuses? Do you want to add stations to your skyport, or you want to add more airships? And then what color of airships? Or maybe you're looking for the icons on the cards, as well as colors. And then you're trying to decide when to deploy them. So all of that is you're not really stuck. Like sometimes a rondel's like, I have to move this many spaces. Well, this is, you have up to this, and I really like that. And then I know this one's going to be stupid, but it came with a full-size pencil with the score pad. Like I'm used to seeing score pads, but I'm not used to seeing a pencil, and it was a full size. I hate when you get those little golf pencils; they're useless. So it's a small thing, but it's one of those quality of life things. It just makes you appreciate that they did that. They put a full-size pencil into the game. All right, so all right, let's onto the cons. So I mentioned earlier, I showed you the beige and the orange player markers. I should probably pull them out again. They're not identical, but I don't know why they went with like a beige color. So like we have a blue, okay? We have a green, okay? We have an orange. And then they went with beige. Like I know if you look at them, you can see there's a difference, but depending on the lighting, where you're at, if someone does have color blindness issues, you can. I mean, the shapes are all different, so there are different shapes, but I do feel like they should have gone with something different than beige. Like, why didn't they use a nice? These are like darker colors. This should have been a darker color. So that's my kind of really only complaint on this game was that coloring. The cards are all excellent. There's red, there's orange. You can very easily tell the difference between them. Did not have a problem. So it was just with the playing pieces. I did grab the wrong one once because I was orange, and I did grab the beige one time. And think the other person was like, "That's me." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that happens. Sometimes you're used to always playing a certain color. I'm used to playing yellow. There was no yellow, but even like a dark yellow would have been nice instead of a beige, or a dark red, or just something other than beige. I didn't understand the use of that color. All right. And then the only other thing is this game, it has a fairly good sized board, right, with some cards that are going to go around it. It's not really oversized. I mean, Ticket to Ride's going to take up probably more space, but if you have a small table, like this table that I'm sitting at right here, this would be really tough to play a 4-player game of this. And this is like a normal, it seats 6 people. I mean, it's a smaller table. It's still a 6-player table. You're going to have a hard time because your cards, you're going to have 2 layers when you put your tycoons on, and then they're going to stretch out, and you're going to possibly run off the end of the table or run into your neighbor. So your little skyport is going to grow. So you got to have kind of room to your sides. So I think that could impact some players if they don't have a good enough table size. But it's probably really not a whole lot different than anything else. Just know that, like, when we started, we're sitting there, and by the end of it, we're like, okay, we're starting to bump into people, or I'm right at the edge of the table and getting close to bumping into my neighbor next to me. And we were sitting at a 6-player table, but it was bigger than what I've got sitting here that I'm on right now. But all right, so that's really it. My final thoughts on this: the game is fun. All right, and it's really fun to play, and it's always changing. So you might see a card out there that you're like, okay, I want to get that, or ooh, I'm going to get that 9-point set collection. But by time your turn gets back to you, it's gone, or that card you wanted is gone. Everybody is taking from that rondel, taking cards, taking set collection chips, or taking. There's two spots where you can take the tycoons, and maybe there's one tycoon left, and someone else can take it before you get to it. So there's always a lot of things that are changing, and you can't just plan out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, because things are, like I said, constantly changing. I would recommend this game to anyone who enjoys games that allow for changing options, numerous possibilities, but not the numerous possibilities where it's like I think it's like a feast for Odin. Like, there's so many things you could do that it can be overwhelming. That this isn't. There's a lot of opportunities and a lot of possibilities, but it's not overwhelming. It's not a huge, crazy amount. It is easy to understand, to pick up and learn this game. It plays quickly. Now, one of the things, now it took us an hour and 20, okay? But it was our first time. Nobody had played the game. We were learning the game. And there are a couple of min-maxers in my group. And so if I could have taken probably one person out, we probably would have been under the hour. But again, it's because we're trying to learn, and they were trying to learn this game the very first time as well. So I know all of us, if I played the exact same 4 people, we would be under an hour the next time we played. And if you like playing on a rondel, I really do like games that have a rondel aspect to them. This game is highly replayable. So the cards, there's like 60 airship cards. You will not see them all. You will see most of them in a game, especially in a 4-player. But not all of them came out, but it was almost all of them. But then you're not going to know what's happening. They're going to always be all the way around the table. So you're not going to see the same stuff twice, right? You have 4 starting players that have a different station cards with different colors and different starting cards that don't match up to your starting stations. So everyone's starting out that way. And so no matter which one you get, you're going to have different colors or different stations, but you still won't have anything initially that's going to line up and match. You've got to add new stations and move airships around. So that creates a good replayability. I think that this game could be a really good entry-level game for non-gamers but yet still hold enough interest for seasoned gamers. I didn't know how my game group was going to respond to this. And it actually, like I said, I thought it was going to be a little bit more simple than it was. It actually, as we're playing, I was like, wow, this has more depth than I kind of expected. And again, they walked away saying, I want to play this again, especially now that we go through that initial play and you understand it. Now it's like, okay, we're ready to hit it and run with it. And so, yeah, I think it's this could be kind of, like Ticket to Ride. I think it was like a great entry level. I kind of feel like Grand Central Skyport could be up there with that type of. It could be enough to introduce someone to gaming. Also, if someone is like, oh, I like Monopoly, or I do like Ticket to Ride, but that's about it, try this game, because this is going to introduce some new stuff. They're still going to have card management and the coloring, which is, in Ticket to Ride, but now you're introducing the rondelle and some additional ways to, adding tycoons and things like that. I really think that this would be an entry level, or maybe giving someone new a way to learn about like rondelle, and in a simple, really beautiful looking game. Overall, this is an excellent game that I can't wait to play again. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. Please feel free to hit that like button, and please hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't done that. We really appreciate it. And hit that notified icon, the bell, so you will not miss any new content. And feel free to share any of your thoughts and comments below. We do look forward to hearing from you. And also, if you haven't heard episode 104 of our podcast, we are giving away 2 games. We're doing a giveaway right now for Propolis and Point Galaxy. We hit 500 subscribers, and we are giving these 2 games away to 2 lucky winners. So listen to episode 104. I'm going to make you go listen to that podcast for details on how to enter that podcast, enter that giveaway. It is for U.S. only. I apologize about that. But you've got until the 15th of September to get your entries in, and we will announce on episode 105, we'll announce the winners. All right, thank you again. We'll see you at the table.